Every society, power speaks. But who controls the voice? The media is more than information. It is the lifeblood of democracy. When the media is controlled, democracy weakens. When it is free, nations grow stronger. In Mass Media and Democracy, Julius MBALUTO examines the Kenyan experience, revealing how media systems ownership, regulation, and liberalization shape political power. Drawing on history, theory, and real political systems, this book connects the classroom, the newsroom, and the corridors of power. Essential reading for students, scholars, policymakers, journalists, and media regulators worldwide. Mass Media and Democracy in Kenya. Julius MBALUTO. Because democracy does not survive in silence. Understand the media. Protect democracy. In every society, power speaks. But who controls?
Hello viewers, welcome to African Act. It is Diaspora Speak. We are speaking with Julius MBALUTO. This is the one person who is a seasoned, experienced journalist in the United Kingdom, covering stories across the world. So today is such a pleasure to have him in our studios talking to us. Karibu sana, Mr. Julius MBALUTO.
Thank you. And to emphasize my Kenyanness, I say asante.
Now, it's good to have you here, but you know what? Thank you so much for agreeing to sit with us. I know we have a lot to talk about, but first and foremost, give us a glimpse of your work in print media and journalism. A little bit of what you've been to.
I realize that I'm wearing a lot of hats, especially in the media. For example, I'm a former screenwriter, former screen actor. So my first TV appearance in Kenya was 1988, and I was an actor on Play of the Week, which was a series. They used to screen it on a weekly basis with Voice of Kenya. We are talking about when Kenya used to have only one television channel. So we basically used to watch everything, even cartoons. It was the only channel anyway. Where else would you be leaving it to go to? So it's amazing time. If I flash back, I'm talking about 38 years in media career.
Yes.
Media career.
Yes.
So from acting, I embarked on like fiction telling of story. I changed into factual. Factual now is journalism. So been UK based, formerly London correspondent for the Daily Nation, London correspondent for the Standard, and also London correspondent for the Star newspapers in Kenya, all of them.
Yes.
I've written for them from time to time. And that's print media, but also not just Kenyan media. I was also London correspondent for World Watch Monitor, which is global as well. So quite a lot of work on that. I did transition from print media into broadcasting.
Broadcasting, yes.
So
that's where I know you from.
Yeah, that's where now I've been with. So we're talking about having worked for Carlton Television based in Birmingham, which was, reporting across East and West Midlands in the UK. And after that, I came to also have worked for ITV. Interesting, I was very key in production of the very first show of the first mayor of London when he was elected. And I'm talking about Ken Livingstone.
Wow.
So the TV show that brought the first time the mayor of London, the first mayor of London, together with Londoners. I was very key in its production. I used to sit down with the mayor to talk about how the program may pan out, of course with editors from ITV as well. And then from there, I've been around in the UK, worked for different BBC outlets, BBC Manchester, BBC Radio Essex, I've been there as well, covering Kent and stuff and all that. Yeah, so we have all these journeys.
BBC saw this such a wealth of experience. I mean, when I'm talking about different types of media, touching it, feeling it, researching on it, you've done it. In the United Kingdom and around Africa as well. Your work has been felt there. So is this what brought you to write up your book? Because I've just understood it's an educational book, mass media and democracy.
Yeah.
It's an education and a research book. But what brought you to actually become an author?
I've been very passionate in terms of education, academic field as well. I've been extremely active. And I wanted also to just mention that for the last over 10 years, I've been a journalism student mentor for City University. As I'm speaking, I've mentored journalists who are working across different countries. In the UK, almost lots of them. Sky News, about 3 of them. It's our Sky News. Yeah.
Yes.
So mentoring future journalists, and also in terms of working with university, this is all about furthering the academic field of things.
Of media.
And in terms of academic, also I'm grounded as well, with honors degree from London Met, masters as well, and also postgraduate diploma from City University itself. So I'm alumni as well from City University. That's why I've been mentoring their future journalists.
Absolutely.
So what actually inspired me to write the book is in academic world, they say you need to give contribution, contribute knowledge, original knowledge to the world, contribution to the world, new knowledge, and it's educational as well. So with my 38 years in the media, I felt I really need just to go beyond the storytelling, covering news, and have something there that cuts across, that future generations will refer to and they learn. But it's not just about students. This book is about governments. It's about policymakers. It's about also journalists who are practicing as well. And also people who are doing great media businesses as well. Because for you to be a successful businessman, you have to understand the environment within which your business works. So it's very informative in all these spheres. But why is this book important as well? Because you see, let's say when I was in Kenya, I used to believe in democracy so much. And I was very keen and watching, and I'm like, we need democracy.
You used to. What about now?
No, before. Thank you for that question. It's very valid.
Yes.
Because when you travel the world, you see other different side you never used to see. So I landed in the UK, right, from Kenya. At the heat of all this second liberalization, I was very active. And when you talk about democracy, you're like, yeah, you want it very pure and clean.
You can feel it.
But immediately I landed in the UK, I found out, hang on a minute, who elects the Queen of England?
Yes.
If democracy is about rule of the people, by the people, and for the people, what's coined by, I think it was Abraham Lincoln or something, to define democracy that way. Countries that are monarchy-led, there's no election.
There's election for the prime minister.
The king is the head of state, the last person to sign bills to become law. And you're like...
And that's a culture.
And it's a culture, it's acceptable. So you're like, now, with your African mindset of democracy and agitation and clamoring for it, you want to see it pure and clean. You're shouting rule of the people, for the people, and by the people. So you in your head is so clear. Then you see so many countries are like that. And they're the Western countries that they threw the idea of democracy to ourselves in Africa. Then you become a bit sober. I'm not saying you stop focusing.
You challenge your thoughts.
You challenge your thoughts. You are like, you have to be in a position then to say, as much as a Western country with a kingdom or monarchy ruling, can still have elections and going on, but we say there's democracy. We need to think about a republic country like in Africa, a republic, not a monarchy. And this country is just a president. There's no royal family or anything. What are the measures? We have to get the balance right. Otherwise, we are not just going to follow whatever we call democracy blindly.
So the mass media and democracy,
this is what,
the write-up, the whole write-up.
These are issues. These are issues that are being explored. Let me say this. This book it says mass media and democracy in Kenya. But Kenya is a showcase. When you get in it, you find we cover the world. We cover our regulation. For example, key issues, I will pinpoint key issues. We are talking about the history of media in Kenya. So you can go as back and find out, even during colonial era, which media was there, you find in this book. And then again, politically, how was it controlled? And for whose interest was it controlled? From colonial era, you realize that, for example, if I may just throw this quick, I'm not going to give away what is in the book, but you have a colonial government. You have the only channel. That channel, the narrative is colonial by your interpretation because it's addressing and serving the interests of the people who are in power. So when you look at that alone, then you see that was our foundation in the media sector.
Yes.
So that's where our media is founded. And over the years, you see, when you look into the history of the media in Kenya, you can see how it has evolved. And
there was a good evolution.
We are talking also.
There was a very good evolution because there was that time whereby there was only one media outlet.
Yeah.
But now, even with multi-party system, there's been such an outburst of many media companies. Has that been a good thing or a bad thing for democracy?
I was coming to that, and my memory flashes back to welcoming KTN as the second TV channel in Kenya. And I'll never forget the covering of Sabasaba, which was like the iconic moment for what we call second liberalization in Kenya. And we are talking about narrative, don't go to Kamukunji grounds.
Yes.
And then KBC filmed that grounds in the morning. But KTN also was to film that in the evening. But when you see the difference between the two, you can quickly tell what's going on here. You can see the difference. But it was an iconic moment to even witness the coming of the second TV channel in Kenya. So in the book, again, there's a lot of research gone into it, and we are talking about how that was possible. I'll give you a picture here. When we talk about even like political control, we have Section 2A of former Section 2A of Kenyan Constitution was included in the Constitution. I think it was 1982, thereabout. And that alone made Kenya a one-party state. One-party state. So by law, no other political party would be formed. KANU was the only political party.
Yes.
So you have to be member by fire, by force. And if you're not member there, you suffered consequences as well. There are services you may never get if you didn't have the KANU card.
The card, yeah.
So when you look into a country like that, they were not fighting for only political liberalization, for the second liberalization to fight so that Section 2A was repealed to allow multi-party democracy. That was a political angle. When you come to the media sector, there was a huge, massive debate. This debate was Free the Airwaves campaign. We had only one TV channel, Voice of Kenya, and this Voice of Kenya later became KBC, was controlled. Actually, it was state-owned. It was owned by the government. So immediately when you say, who's going to cover the meetings from the opposition leaders?
KBC.
They wouldn't. They are not allowed to. They wouldn't
So
give
they
people,
choose
when you
what
hear the
they're
opposition clamoring to free the airwaves, they were fighting for a country whereby there will be enough airspace, broadcasting space for both opposition and the government, to include all Kenyans. Free airwaves, let there be many channels, serve all Kenyans. The values and traditions of one TV channel owned by a government was always the government point was the one being pushed. And it used to be final, by the way. So these are the things. So it's not just political change. It was also media change. The moment you see and this book actually is born out of the hot debates on especially Free the Airwaves campaign. So I'll give you a picture there. So like, for example, also another key issue was ownership of the media at the time. Another issue was a regulation of the media at the time. Because if you're regulating the media and you are the government, you see those who are opposed to the government are likely to suffer. If you own the media also, a regulator happens to be government supporting and they think you are rebel,
You suffer.
you suffer. So these are academic narratives which are featured in the book. This is not like a party political campaign platform. This is not about even the political parties which are there today. This is academic book which goes to the history and brings us to where we are.
And how we can
close
use
to
that
now.
history
and we,
to
how
model
change,
what we want.
To change.
Yes.
That's not just the history in Kenya. I said Kenya is a showcase. In this book you find how the Western world were doing the same thing. That's why this book is not Kenyan, it's also global. Kenya is a showcase, but this book is also global.
You've covered different countries.
Everywhere.
And
It's
you've
been
talked about-
studied.
Yes.
So even when you talk, for example, regulation of the media in Kenya, I'm also comparing with the UK regulation of the media. You find it there. So therefore, why is that important? We are like saying, this is where we have been, even globally. This is how we have done our business, but how can we do it better? I'm also addressing how we can do better as well by picking up good practices to bring the narrative forward. It's not about...
But from a
maybe.
journalist perspective and the world we have today, is it a good thing to actually regulate the media and know what exactly is going on? So that democracy, should it be, also taken outside the mainstream media to other things that are going on? So that kind of regulations, because I want to know what we can do from your experience to regulate the media we are receiving today, using, a guidance of your book, Mass Media and Democracy.
Regulation is not a bad thing. Let me put it this way. This world can be impossible to live if me and you, we did whatever pleased to us. Like myself, Julius, I'm like, yeah, you annoyed me, I'm going to punch your head, and I punch your head. There's no consequence to that. Or you say, why are you on the road when I'm driving? Can't you see I'm a bit fast? I'll hit you and I carry on out of the way. And you do that. You see, that's what we call anarchy. But to avoid anarchy, every society, whether Kenya, whether UK, whether America, is regulated by the rule of law. The rule of law is a framework we use so that I know when I'm driving, I obey red light. My friends will see green and keep moving. When it's my turn is green, they will stop at a red and I keep moving. Rule of law remains key. The regulation remains key. And also in the media context, also academically, there is something, a very big debate we always talk about is media power without responsibility, or is it power with responsibility?
With responsibilities, yes.
So this is a very important key thing to make a big, huge distinction between the two. So we say yes to regulation. Question is how that regulation is done. I'll give you an example. We are in the UK, for example. Immediately, you witness accident. No more practice. The police will be there quick. They'll seal off the area and they will try to cover what's going on in there and what the ambulances are doing. In Africa, several countries, you see an accident happen. Some people have the confidence to pick up their mobile.
All of them.
And start to do
They don't even help.
even to do live transmission.
Yes, I hear you.
No one is helping.
I hear you.
And when you see, is that responsibility? Because these people, their prime focus is, I want to post this on my TikTok. No, you shouldn't be doing that. Help the victims.
The families are not even aware.
The families are not even aware. So accident even happened, for example, over here. And also now I'm giving you these real life experiences so you know how media relates to this. So you see, also the media here, they know, for example, if it's an accident, you don't just post. If your neighbor's house on fire, you don't post on social media, on TV, whatever. Because if something so bad like that happens, you wait for the police to come, you wait for the police to go and inform the next of kin. Now, when next of kin knows, that's when the media reports.
But that's instilled in the culture of the people.
Yeah, culture.
That's the culture of the people.
Completely. And they know that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Even in time of social media. I saw another time, like an accident happened. Like even when I was coming, it's a bad example though. One of the A13 was a massive accident, the house burning. Actually,
I saw that.
You saw that,
I saw that, yes.
And when you see the area where it's happening, so sealed away from the people.
From the public, yeah.
And the police may not even be allowing people to film that because it's traumatic, it's really not great. So we are talking about power with responsibility, not power without responsibility. Because I tell you, power without responsibility, I used to see it also, like when there is a terrorist attack, right? And you see, people are on the ground are quick to post images, gory images on Facebook. What do you think that's telling the terrorists? You're doing their work.
They've won.
Without knowing you are promoting.
They're promoting them.
That's what they wanted to achieve, promotion of that. I lived in this country from a long time ago. When I started living in London, occasionally we used to be bombed quite often by the IRA. Thank God they stopped. But whatever they bombed, the government at the time under Margaret Thatcher, she used to coin phrase saying, we are not going to give terrorists the oxygen of publicity. Oxygen of publicity.
Publicity, yes.
And that meant they could not be brought on TV saying what they say. Actually, if one of the leaders were to do something, whatever they said, newsroom, they used to use an actor to paraphrase what that person said. Because the government was, we are not going to give publicity, oxygen of publicity.
To the, yes. Do you know what?
So
that's
there are these
really,
issues.
That's really resonate very well with where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Because the lack of positive media has been giving oxygen to the negative media.
Exactly.
And that is the lack of regulations, giving power without responsibility. You've said it very, very well. So for anybody who's out there, who's looking to buy the book, use the book, where do you recommend them to, use the book and understand the book? And buy the book, of course.
Yeah. First of all, buying will be, it's available in many outlets. So we have the biggest one, Amazon. Amazon is on Amazon. Just search my two names, Julius Baluto, on Amazon, or Mass Media and Democracy in Kenya, in Amazon. And you can find it is in different qualities. You have the paperback, you also have the hard copy as well. And also, it's also available in Kindle. Kindle is electronic version of it. That one, anytime anyone can buy anywhere because it's electronic. It's on Kindle as well. And also it's on Lulu. Lulu is also another book-selling outlet as well. Lulu as well. So we have those two kind of outlets also. But what is this book for? It's about understanding how the media has worked before, understanding where we are, understanding how we can make it work better. So embassies are, even when you talk about ownership of the media, that's very key, but we need to free the ownership. So it's not like a few people owns all these channels, because when you restrict ownership, you're taking away a lot of voices because they are not represented. Not all voices will see it the same way. Let me use the illustration of Kenya. Not everyone will be UDA supporter. Not everyone will be Azimio supporter. Not any other political party involved will be the only party supporter of that. We are many. We are saying we are many in that country called Kenya. So this book is not about party politics and all that. It's academic. We are like addressing very serious issues. Ownership of the media. How should that be done? Regulation of the media. We regulate the media with responsibility. We want responsible media, to achieve a responsible media. Trained journalists who know, hey, even though no one told
The
me,
ethos
I should
of
not just
journalism.
film gory images and
Yes.
churn them out without care. You know, those values are very key. And when you see also journalists being responsible, we want to achieve a responsible media. Also, what kind of stories are there? Do you want to throw a story there which can cause insecurity in the country? No, you don't do that, because we have a duty.
Do your risk assessment as a journalist before you share a story.
Yeah, so from the point of journalism, it's about upping our game, embracing professionalism. And that can be achieved through understanding the narratives that are all shared. But it's not also Kenya specific, it's also global.
No, but what you're saying right now is quite global, because that irresponsibility, we've seen it, you know, like people losing respect with professional journalists because somebody can take a phone and film something very quickly, but there's no assimilation between community being empowered to use their media and how they need to vet that. There's not that education has not gone to the community. And that is why your book is very, very important, to bring back to the world that there's a reason why these rules and regulations were put together, not just for the democracy, but for the media to actually represent the people well.
Yeah.
Negative stories still need to be shared.
Yeah.
But the way they are shared is what makes a difference on how the community will react. Somebody can go and share something that is not correct.
Yeah.
It hasn't been researched very well.
Yeah.
And that brings a lot of issues. Who is going to be blamed on that purpose, on that place? Who's going to be blamed? So I'm thinking of a way your book can actually be not just for academic, not just for research, but also a point of learning for government, so as they can start thinking how badly is social media being used in our country to destroy the structure of the media bodies. Because I think the media bodies are being destroyed by media that are not highlighting things that are not positive and they're not building. Is there, because you're still practicing in journalism, you're still very active. What is your guidance on what we can do now to bring back that respect that journalism have received for years? You're somebody who have received a lot of respect, so tell us.
Yeah, we do have a challenge to, especially our governments in Africa, to, number one, embrace media. Because, put it simply, if media, all of them decided, we're not going to give you any coverage today, news blackout would be the best form of protest. And the moment you wake up, you don't see anything on TV, nothing on radio, no newspaper, nothing. News blackout is when you realize, oh my goodness, everything I know today, it was just because of the media. All these stories we know America, where America is, it's just because of the media. You know Kenya, where is Kenya? Because of the media. Through the media, you come to know these things. So it plays a pivotal role in any society, very important role. And if that be the case, then governments ought to, number one, empower the media and embrace it. And when they do that, you realize that they don't have to be your typical enemy, like Tom and Jerry, but they can be there are many points of collaboration to make the society better. I'll give you a picture to illustrate that. I've worked here as a journalist in this country, and I've done investigative programs, so BBC as well. For example, if we were to talk about selling of alcohol to underage children,
yes,
there are times we work successfully with the police, and even when they were to make arrest, we were there to film and tell the story. See how that collaboration has gone.
Yes. Yes, a community issue.
Because immediately
working in collaboration with the government and with the police to make sure that this story goes out to the public.
So if we are in a particular supermarket, the police have done their job. we have done our story. Everyone knows, we hear, hey, if you sell alcohol to underage, you'll be arrested. Look, they were arrested. Media is the one telling the story. But government, there's so many points of collaboration. We've seen programs on traffic, police, working with journalists to do documentaries, TV documentaries. For example, road rage. Yeah? Those are points of collaboration. You make the society better. Because
Immigration.
Immigration as well, yes. Border force, or whatever happens, you see, for them to showcase there are those moments of collaboration which makes a difference. And all this information churned out is making the society well informed and making the society better and making the society begin to make right decision in issues of their life.
Because they know the repercussions.
So they've seen the repercussions. They know there's nowhere to run. And also when you talk even about how prepared is a country. You've seen some countries, they come and they begin to do program with journalists. They say, hey, let's board on this boat, and either police boat or whatever. And we are going to show you what we do to protect our country. So when I'm watching that, I'm like, wow, these guys are prepared. We are kind of safe. We are in good hands.
In good hands, yeah.
You know what I mean? These things are kept away. Because the problem we have with African media, the distrust between journalists and the government, that's the problem number one. Number two is, again, it goes back to politics. And it goes back to ownership of the media. Because media happens to be very politically oriented. Some of course, we go through, perhaps covered in the book. You find a lot of people are like, for us to win the campaign, we have to have a channel we can trust. TV channel we can trust. Radio channel we can trust. But this is
So it means the channel then will be a partisan one way or another.
100%.
Because if there's a way they're going to be for this candidate, not for that candidate. So they cannot be, they are already participating actively in politics, which they are breaking their regulations.
100%. And that's, again, if you see again in the book, when we come up to the moment the government accepted airways to be liberalized in Kenya, allowing the first TV channel, KTN, when that moment happened, you realize that although it happened, it didn't go the way. Yeah. So it's like, I can give you a license to broadcast. But
yes,
the airwaves
I'll be listening.
are restricted.
Yes.
Or your ability to broadcast is limited. Sometimes some channels
or if you broadcast
only Nairobi
this will
only.
Cut you.
Not
Nairobi
countryside, not countrywide. Only Nairobi, yeah? Or only Nakuru. Take care of that small region. Or whatever.
And if you share this, will cut your roots.
Exactly. And the government has been very key to control the media. Yeah, I'm coming from an era. I'm talking about second liberalization.
Yes.
This is what was happening. People like, Gitopi Manyara, Jehu Katabaki, their magazines, Society, Nairobi Law Monthly, all those things were being shut down. They were being shut down.
Those were the time that
they were being
also
arrested.
People read stories to understand the stories.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think there's also lack of readership with the people to understand what exactly are we trying to do. Because if I read the story of Jehu Katabaki, I would be thinking about what happened, what did you do. I will engross myself in it. Do we have those readers today or those listeners today who will listen to a story and resonate with them and they act? Or are we missing that point?
We have a new generation. And this new generation, talking about the Gen Zs of Kenya, I want to give them credit. Their thirst to be informed is on a different level. I covered the Gen Z's protests, and I never forget witnessing how much attention they were paying just on their phone. They will go live, they will follow parliament proceedings, to the level that in a minute you can see all of them in anger saying, oh, they have passed the bill.
Informed decisions.
And you can see them live. And I never forget speaking to, I think it's my nephew, no, my niece or my nephew. And in a minute, it was like, these things we're following, we are educating ourselves so much to understand how politics works, how all these laws are made. The thirst for knowledge is huge. But in terms of reading a book, we have a generation that they want things fast. They don't want to wait for a long time. And I've come across a lot of students. They're like, I wish what is in this book was in a digital format, something like, and also shorter than all these lengthy talks, maybe something like TikTok friendly.
Yeah, TikTok friendly, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
something quick info targeting them. They just want to see, hey, that's it. That's what you're saying. Let's keep moving. But apparently, life is not organized that way. If you've taken a career to become a lawyer, no matter how boring books might be, you have to read them.
Got to read, yeah.
You have to read them. You have to read all these cases. You have to read all these books. So in our case, we encourage the current generation with their thirst for knowledge, not to just
become readers.
It's going to be social media,
Yes.
but read the books. There's a lot of information there.
Yes.
So like,
do your research
do your research
on the people who made changes. Because they can stand and say, Wangari Maathai.
Yeah.
They can stand and say, you know.
With confidence.
But how much do they understand the work that such a person had to do to become an icon? Now that we're talking about icon, Julius MBALUTO, you are totally an icon. I've listened to what you've done. You've done work with the Mau Mau. You were talking about when the Mau Mau came to the United Kingdom. They were challenging the government.
Yeah.
You were there. When the Mandamano was happening, you were there. Many things you've talked about, you've stood and you've taken your journalism to a place. And the world has noted. UN Global Impact. I listened to that. I was like, oh my God. My brother, you're not shouting a lot. Tell us about these awards. Tell us about these awards.
The way I look at it, I'm just a small man with a bigger God.
No, I'm shouting. I am shouting here for you, Mr. MBALUTO. Tell us about the Global Impact Award. I'm listening.
You see, as it is the case with my work, I just focus on tomorrow's deadline. And I'm happy if I accomplish today's task. And I keep moving. I hardly ever look back. But you know what gives me joy is because I know when I wake up and I go to sleep, I've done my job. And I tell myself, I'm on the planet as a journalist. To me, journalism is not what you do to get paid for.
It's a ministry for you,
To me, it's like a calling. And that's how I've seen it. And I've come across it with so many different issues. So when you talk about, even for me, I was shocked. I was like, I thought it was a prank. That
it is a scammer.
Someone is talking about global impact. And I'm like, maybe from my village, I can say yes. Or maybe from Kenya, maybe from the UK, but are you talking about global, like the world? So I was like, that was really
You did not see yourself that big.
No,
Someone else is looking at your footprints and they can see you're up here. But you did not see yourself that big.
Never. Not even one day. Not even one day.
And then you are the only African in that platform. Tell us about the feeling.
Yeah, so it was amazing. Number one, I had purpose to go to Kenya as I got an holiday from work. In fact, I wanted to go and introduce my book to Kenya. Then I got this invite. They're telling me, we have researched all the work you have done. And some of the work you have done has caused some governments to change their policies. And I'm like, wow, if you remind me that, is that me or? But actually, it's me. It's me. And they started to count just one after the other. And that's the moment I knew they were not scammers. It wasn't a prank email like we get. Occasionally, you may get an email someone telling you, my auntie had 5 million and he wants the million to go through a bank account. And I know you have an account. If you give me your account, I can make this million come through for you or for the benefit of my auntie. But they also tell you, send me £500 to activate. I'm like, why do you want me to send you £500
to activate millions?
5 million. It doesn't work. So I was thinking, this is a scam email. But I found out it was true. And in a minute, I was like, you're telling me to come to Indonesia? It's so far, man. From the UK, it's a
to go to Indonesia,
21-hour journey flight. Yeah, it's very far. I normally like to go far, but not very far, like
21 hours.
I feel like I'm in the space, you know, like I need to know there's a possibility of being able to come back.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is so far, and then where am I gonna get all these tickets, whatever? I need accommodation for hotel. And they just said to me, do you want to participate? Yeah. So when I said yes, next thing, everything was fully paid for.
Fantastic.
So this moment I was like, I know where Kenya is. You can catch up later.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm getting a free flight and hotels.
That was the feeling, and it was huge. But it was
Congratulations.
bigger than I thought.
You had millions watching it here.
Yeah, oh my goodness, it was huge. And just to share the kind of people I met this guy from Malaysia. It's Malaysia, whatever. For him to be there, to have had impact in the world, he began a company that was producing things which were cheaper and affordable by poor people, ordinary people. And by the time he's being chosen, his company is operational in so many countries. I don't know whether 120, so many countries, operational. And when you think about that impact, you start something small, it just goes across. But then I remembered when I saw that, I started to just look back a bit. I realized, there's a time I also got honorary doctorate from another UN-affiliated organ, again because of my country. The impact is coming from the stories that I've done. So they looked into so many things. So they looked into my screen acting, screen career, all that still impact across Kenya.
Yes.
And some of the programs we used to do, they also got exported to Tanzania.
Yes.
They looked into my mentorship at my former City University. As I'm speaking to you, my mentees are working in many different countries, working in journalism, very high positions, different countries.
Yes.
My former mentees.
Yes.
There's mentorship also. They're talking also of the kind of stories that I've covered, which made a difference. That's what we are talking about.
Yes.
And even when they talk about it, I'm like, that's me. I remember that. I remember that.
They're reminding you your work.
For me, I'm focused on the deadline of tomorrow. I hate it. I'm happy. I keep going.
Yes.
So I never look back. But it was a wake-up call for me. Because when I was there, it's when I met so many people. And I was shocked.
And even for you
how
to
much
be with
they
them.
waited for me. And then lastly also, the book. The book was like an addition to the other things that they were recognizing.
Yes, but there was actual...
And leadership also.
And leadership, yes.
Global leadership.
Yes, global leadership. Because the book was actually like, he's got his story in writing.
Yeah. And I also forgot to mention also the finding of our newspaper, Informa East Africa.
Yes, Informa East Africa, of course.
I also forgot.
Of course. Of course. In the Kenyan platform, we know Informa East Africa. Like that was when I thought you guys are bold. You're printing your newspapers in the United Kingdom and sharing with your people stories that are happening back home. Because that was the time where social media was not there.
No, it wasn't.
Informa East Africa was the reconnecting factor. You were closing that gap for Kenya and the United Kingdom. You've done it. Everything we're saying in terms of journalism and media, you deserve an award in every country you've ever shared about. And I'm so glad today at African Nights, we're looking at you, Mr. MBALUTO. We're looking at your video, mass media and democracy. We're looking at how that book is going to be changing the world, the future, because that will be a look back moment for educators, for students, for those who are researching. They need to find that book and know, because we need to know what is the future of the media. So from a participant like you, or from a journalist like you that is so seasoned, 38 years.
38 years.
What is the media of the future?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So what I've seen and what I've noted in the media, change is not new. When I started journalism, you have this massive, huge camera, heavy. Ken, if you were to carry one of the cameras we used to the tripod itself, almost 2 men to lift.
You got like 20 kilos. You got 20 kilos of cameras.
We used to count quality with the weight. Yeah. So even the mic, speaker, we didn't trust these small speakers. It has to be the size of a wall. So we trust the output to be great.
I hear you.
But now when you talk about how did media work those days, if you come, for example, to London, something happens where we are. It took Channel 4 or any other channel to know what that happened. They would prepare their TV crew who would travel to where something happened. They will film what happened there. They go back to newsroom and they edit, and it will appear on 6 o'clock news, for example.
Yes.
That was a tradition.
Yes.
Journalists have to be where something happened.
Yeah.
So that is really the genesis.
Yeah.
Journalists has to be where something happened.
Yes.
For them to cover that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the world welcomes Facebook. And now, Facebook tends to place almost all these you and me's everywhere.
Yes.
And we have our modern phones, and they are connected to Facebook. We can even call Facebook Live.
Yes, I hear you.
So it's not, these guys have not arrived with their crew.
Yeah.
We can go live on Facebook. They want to see what's happening now. So I want to use that moment to show you how media adapts to change. So the media mainstream did not start to fight with Facebook. They started to find ways to incorporate Facebook. Even the birth of all these WhatsApp, other social media, they came to be. Again, the mainstream media was not shaken, was not afraid. They always found a way to incorporate. YouTube as well.
Yes.
They found a way to incorporate YouTube in the dissemination of news. So, for example, if you remember when London was bombed last with the buses in Houston and everywhere, that day alone, BBC 6 o'clock news, they used almost 75% of what they call user-generated content. User-generated content means I'm in the newsroom. I can reach out, send a message out there. You were where the bombing happened. You may have taken a picture. You may have taken a video clip. Send it to us. And they happily do, because they like to see their work on TV as well. Why not? User-generated content from real people where something was happening through social media happens to be used in news.
And then now the mainstream media will do their research.
They try to also balance that also.
Yes.
Because some people can post fake stuff. The potential is there. They have to do their professional checking and vetting to ensure what goes out in the end is factual and is true. It really happened. And now they mix with whatever else they have to do. So that has become useful. And also at the same time, incorporated into the mainstream. So it's not a threat. It complements what journalists are doing. So away from that, for example, now some TV channels now, mainstream channels, they don't fight with YouTube. No. They started their YouTube version of the same channel. So this is what's really happening.
Because also that gives liberty to the viewer, because they can watch at their own time.
Exactly.
Yes.
And also, like me as a newsman, social media is a blessing. Do you know now, I can quickly go when I'm doing my research. I want to know something about the Indian culture. I'll type on YouTube, Indian culture, and I begin to see their social media influencers talking about their Indian culture on their YouTube channels. I can now call this person and interview them to talk to me about Indian culture. It's complementary.
So you don't have to research a lot looking for that person, because they're actually very accessible.
It's making us reach what some time before.
Yes.
It was harder to reach. When I used to research for stories, for example, to get someone to interview, it would take me a lot of networks and connections from one person to the other. But now, at the comfort of your computer, when you know the subject, you type, something is coming. Even if it's someone shouting on the street, Indian culture, you can still talk to them. Yeah? If they were speaking something that I don't want to use the word, then you know.
You can say like,
Yeah.
I'm listening to you,
Yeah,
Mr. MBALUTO. I'm listening to you. I am so inspired. First and foremost, because I just started doing African acts. You were already there, glued into your art. And I can see your art over these years. So on your final message to the community, not just on your media career, but I also want to say on mass media and democracy, your final message to the community out there, as a journalist you are, what is that message you'd like people to hear from Julius MBALUTO? You can talk directly to the camera.
Yeah. No, if I'm going to talk with us, Kenyans, number one love. We need to come together more. We need to support each other, everything. Whether you're in Kenya, whether you're in diaspora, support your brothers, support your sisters. And the message that I gave in my speech to the summit was, we are stronger together. We are stronger together. And if you want to go somewhere, it's much more fun when you go with someone else. When you go alone, it can get a bit boring. Let's support each other, number one. Number two, let's take responsibility. We are talking about also media, mass media, democracy. We want, number one, to talk about us, ourselves, as citizens of Kenya. We are talking about being responsible. Don't say voting doesn't count. Register to vote, for example. Some competitors are lost with 2 votes. Voting counts. And actually, when you don't even choose to vote, it's a choice you have made. Because someone can win because you did not vote. Someone can lose because you did not vote. We call it civic duty. Civic duty. Play your civic duty. Register to vote and vote. Don't say voting will be stolen. That's another conversation. Vote first. Let's protect the votes later. So that is one I'm saying that because we are heading to Kenya's election. Number two, violence is a no-go area. No change in politics is worth dying for when you don't have to die for. When change can come amicably and peacefully, no one should be dying because of that. Also, in terms of those in power, there's no power worth dying for. You know, you aspire to be in power. Just know power is always two-way. If you want to be a good leader, accept to be led. That's another point. Accept to be led. If you cannot accept to be led, why would you think people will accept to be led by you? So accept to be led. And if you lose election, peace, man, peace. We want peace in our country. And then the other thing, let's build our institution from the media aspect, from regulators of the media to journalists, self-regulation through institutions that regulate the media, also professional regulation as well. We need to be a power with responsibility because we owe it to Kenyans, wherever they are, to play a vital duty, which is to inform them. But also, when we inform them, we have to be responsible in doing so. And then again, we need to aspire, upcoming journalists, we need to aspire to up our game. Let's embrace professionalism. It's not about sensationalism. When I was trained as a journalist many years ago, it was a different era. We used to go like, at the time they tell us, we want you to give us the exclusive. And that meant to young journalists, if I'm covering floods, for them to get exclusive, I'm going to report standing inside the floods. So when they see the picture, they know it's exclusive. I'm inside the floods. I'm lucky I've not been carried away by the water, but exclusive, that's what it meant. And when it came to other problems also, they defied the risk and they ended up suffering. So we are saying what we were told. Don't be the story. Give us the story. Don't be the story. You become the story when whatever you are covering ends up killing you. Don't be the story. Give us the story. So we have responsibility to the community, to the society, to our country, Kenya. Let's do our best for Kenya. To the rest of the world, one peace. We want a better world that won't what we see now. War is not our cup of tea. We prefer having some orange juice in peace. So may the world have peace. We don't want war. So that's my short message to everyone.
Wow. Viewers, I told you iconic. I told you seasoned. I told you global award leader. He's a winner. He has done impact. His stories is everywhere. So you've just seen a little bit of what Julius MBALUTO is all about. Mass media and democracy was our first story. But with a brain like this, I would like him more at the African stories so as we can bring these conversations about our responsibility, about our people, about how we carry ourselves and how we can inspire the next generation to be the best in their art. Janet Wainaina, African Act. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hello viewers, welcome to African Act. Is it a good thing to actually regulate the media?